Hi guys, it's Blackie with a little bit of an update for you and a little bit of a report. Now, those of you that follow my channel remember that I guess it was July or it might have been August, I talked about how I wanted to do Frozenfoot this year in a hammock. 2 years prior to that, I had gone and I hadn't hammock camped. I had went and used a tent. Well, I wanted to do the whole thing in a hammock. So that was the personal challenge to me this year, was to do it that way. Well, I've been using a Hennessy hammock for 10 years. And I loved my Hennessy. But I had gotten a hammock from a company called ONEWIND and tried it out, and I liked how easy it went up, how strong it was, and all the advantages it had. And it had a complete system of underquilts and etc. And the Hennessy technically has an underquilt system, but no. I'm a poor working Blackie. I can't afford a lot of that expensive stuff because I'm having to take my money to get it. And ONEWIND was much more reasonable for what the quality was. So I went that way. And I did a series of videos talking about each one of the pieces of gear. And so for my hammock, my initial look at the hammock, that's here. When I got the hammock, I got the straps, got the tarp. The tarp's very nice, and it sets up almost like a tent. You can enclose the edges, and I'll include a picture of that here. I also got a thing in just the last couple of weeks called a windsock, and this is a way of sealing up the hammock. Now, when you're in a hammock, you're up in the air collar. So when you're in the hammock, the wind will blow away your heat, and so therefore you need some sort of insulation underneath. And that's where I went with the ONEWIND underquilt and the ONEWIND blanket. The blanket snaps into the underquilt and just ups the insulation value of it. I also went, and I put a video link here, I also went with a windsock. Now the windsock goes over the whole hammock, and once you get into it, you're a hot air producer. I mean, yeah, it's Blackie. But your warmth rising heat off of you is going to create a thermal current. Well, what you do is you get into this windsock and you pull the bottom up. It's got a drawstring, and you draw it up tight. And when you do that, excuse me, you stop that circulation of air coming in at the bottom and going out at the top. And it did make a big difference quickly. When I went to this event, it's called Frozenfoot, and I spoke of it many times. It's up in North Alabama on, I believe it's the Chiloloco Wildlife Management Area. It's part of the Talladega National Forest. You've got Cheehaw, Duggar, where we've been many times, and then this big mountain range right here. And it's mountains that you wouldn't expect to be in Alabama. I mean, it really isn't. Whenever I went, I was kind of going to be disappointed that they said that the temperature was supposed to be 65 during the day and mid-40s maybe at night. And I thought, well, it's not going to be that bad, you know. And so I didn't bring all my gear. Well, big storm front coming through on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and that was supposed to blow out, and then Friday it'd be clear, and that's when I was going up for Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Well, it stalled out. And so when we got up on top of that mountain, I think the highs were the low 40s, and then the lows were into the 20s a couple of nights. Somebody had a thermometer and said it got down like 25 one night, I think the first night. You'd be sitting there talking and everything fine, and suddenly a wind would hit you and you could see your breath big time. I mean, like clouds every time you breathe. It was just constantly swirling and shifting. So we had rain, almost a constant little rain for 2 days. We had sleet we had a little dusting of snow. It was a good Frozenfoot. And I got my hammock all set up between two trees and got myself situated, but I had not brought my long underwear, and I had not brought the big heavy pad I put into my hammock in the dead of winter. So I was kind of putting a lot of faith into this ONEWIND set. And I have to report, I was warm. I never got cold. I was kind of nervous, I'll be honest with you, because all I had underneath me was the hammock, the blanket, and the underquilt. That's it. I didn't have any pad. And I had not brought my real heavy insulating long underwear to put on. So, you know, I had that and a sleeping bag system on top for an overquilt, and that was it. And I never got cold. Wind swirling around, rain and sleeting, I never got cold. And I was not the only one. Randy Smith, who is a dealer for ONEWIND hammocks now, he was there. Dan Lutz, who I've talked about many times in my videos, he was there and he was in one. Mike Denny was using some stuff of ONEWIND. There were several people in camp that were using ONEWIND hammock parts or a whole system, and nobody was complaining about them. I mean, hey, you can't ask any better than that. And so my report on the system is, yes, it was a success. I achieved my goal of being able to spend Frozenfoot in a hammock. I did it. So that's kudos for my little star on my little personal little quest. The next thing that I've got to do is I want to take the ONEWIND hammock and go into some real swamps that I know during the summer and see how well that mosquito net keeps me from getting eaten alive. We will see how that goes. But that'll be more toward June, July, that'll happen. But I wanted to give you a little update on it, on how it went and whatever. And the ONEWIND hammock set was a big success. It did good. Now, what's coming in the future? Well, I'm holding my gathering the May at Geneva State Forest at the lake where it's been before. And it's going to be the May 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. 10th is Sunday. So it's Wednesday through Sunday. I've already got at least 40 people, 50 people saying they're coming now. It costs $2 a day to camp. We got an honor box up on top of the hill where you drop your money in. There'll be porta potties there for us, and you've got all the camping areas, the big lake. I have done a video on the drive into this before and of the lake, and about a week out I will post a link to that back to my channel. I'll repost it for those that are coming. It looks to be a good gathering, and I hope you can attend if you'd like to. Well, that's the update, guys. I appreciate your support, I really do. And I thank all of those that have subscribed and clicked the little notification bell to see all my videos. I really, really appreciate all the support you give to me. Till next time, guys, I'm Blackie for Shaman's Forge, wishing you safe journeys. Have a great day, guys.